Hey guys, welcome. This is Dr. Isabella Wentz, and today I've got a friend here with me, Dave Asprey. So we're going to be chatting a little bit about his new book, Headstrong. So for any of you guys that haven't heard about Dave Asprey, he is a really cool person, not just my friend, but
thank you.
He actually has done some really cool things in the world. Dave is one of the people that I actually ask for advice whenever I'm looking to try something like crazy and out there, because Dave has probably tried it. He is an official biohacker. He's the CEO of Bulletproof, a high-performance coffee and food company, creator of Bulletproof Coffee, host of the award-winning podcast Bulletproof Radio. You may have seen me on that. If you guys are here, if you could let us know that you're watching and just say hello to us, so that we know that the audio is working and that that we're not just kind of talking to each other, which is always fun.
It happens. Should we make this window bigger so we can see more comments? We'll scroll down if it'll let us.
Yeah, let's do this.
Now we can see more of you.
We're really excited to be here with you guys. Hello, Jody. Nice to see you. Dennis, hello. How are you doing? Oh, that's Melanie. And then we've got Magdalena. We've got Amber, Ellen. So, hi, guys. Today we're going to be talking a bit about brain fog. So, what you may not know about Dave is he's not just the author of an amazing book called Headstrong. We just hit the New York Times.
I just have to say, I hit the New York Times one level below this amazing author right here. So she was number 6 this week, her second week, my debut week. She kicked my butt. So, Isabella, high five.
Yay.
We share the list.
Yes. I mean, it's like when you're changing the world, it's like people are going to start recognizing it.
And I can be in line behind you. I'm very pleased to be in good company.
Oh, you're so sweet. So I'm really, really excited. Not a lot of people know this. That people know you as this biohacker, as this really smart person, successful, billionaire, all kinds of
I'm
crazy
so
things.
not a billionaire. They call me all sorts of weird things, but yeah, I'm so far.
But one thing that people don't know is that you actually had Hashimoto's, which is why I like you. One of the reasons why.
Likewise, that's why you're cool. I mean, anyone with Hashimoto's pretty much has to be cool. It's a requirement.
And you actually got your Hashimoto's into remission.
It's gone.
Yeah. So one of the big challenges that people have with Hashimoto's is brain fog. And a lot of times taking thyroid hormones can help, but a lot of times we still feel like our head is detached from our bodies.
Yeah.
And you've been able to overcome that, and you write about that in your new book called Headstrong. Can you talk about the connection between, brain fog and thyroid and kind of your work with hacking the brain and beyond?
Sure. So I used to weigh 300 pounds, and it wasn't like 300 pounds like this. It was like 300 pounds like, whoa. I couldn't see my feet, and I lost about 100 pounds of fat. In my mid-20s, I started having really bad brain fog, to the point I bought disability insurance. And my doctor couldn't help me, said my thyroid was fine because they didn't know how to test for thyroid. And I ended up firing my doctor when he said vitamin C would kill me. And for 4 years, I studied a lot of functional medicine. We called it orthomolecular back then. The word
I remember that.
Was new. Yeah. And for almost 20 years, I've been running an anti-aging research group. So I learned what was going on, and I went on thyroid hormone, and it was like getting my life back. I still would have brain fog, but it became manageable. I started taking smart drugs, which I still take smart drugs today, that have been really powerful for turning my brain on, but I was thinking about it backwards, because I was thinking about, how do I go to the brain? You actually have to start at the energy, at the very lowest level in the body, and thyroid is the thermostat for that. So one of the reasons that I like hanging out with Isabella is that I know a lot about thyroid, and Isabella knows 10 times more than I do. So when people are like, Dave, what's going on here? I'm like, that's one I don't know. You need to talk to Isabella. So I can tell you, you will not function cognitively if you're not making enough energy. In fact, all the systems in your body are reliant on these power plants in your body called mitochondria. And I'm going to turn off that thing.
Oh, yeah, it's saying hello to us. So, yeah, and Dave's the key person that I ask when I'm trying to upgrade my performance, where I'm trying to get my brain to work better. He's like my go-to person on that, where I'm like, hey, Dave, have you heard of this new thing? What can I do to go from, I went from being sick to being, normal, and now, Dave has helped me to get to, the next level, where I'm actually, I can do a lot of different things that I wasn't able to do before through his work.
It's a game changer, and even once you fix your thyroid, and so I got rid of my antibodies, but I'm still on thyroid hormone. I take a lot less than I used to, and through the course of writing Headstrong and doing things to increase the function of these power plants in my cells, and we'll talk more about that, I was able to cut my already reduced dose of medication by 70%.
Yeah, so, that got my little antlers up.
Yeah, I was frankly blown away. I started throwing off heat, And I was actually getting signs of excess thyroid, like double heartbeats and sort of like, which was amazing because that happened over a relative short period of time. What Isabella has learned is every single thing, at least I think, there might be a few other hidden ones out there, like unicorns or something.
Unicorn blood.
Yeah, that. But every single thing that can trigger Hashimoto's, right? And talks about that so much, so you have to remove those things. In my case, I lived in a house with toxic mold. And if you haven't seen my documentary on toxic mold, it's at moldymovie.com.
It's fabulous.
Oh,
so many people have been helped by that.
And it's one of those things where like I felt a moral obligation. I funded that film out of my pocket. And it's never been like it's not there as a business. It's there because every doctor who told me that nothing was wrong was ignoring me, and they thought I was crazy pants because I had 10 things wrong with me. And mold triggered that. And one of the things it does, it triggers gluten and casein sensitivity, and it causes adrenal autoimmune issues, and it causes issues with your thyroid where you get
Hashimoto's for sure.
Right.
Yeah,
and
Graves too.
Yeah, and I cut the grains, which also contain mold, as well as the bad stuff that's in grain in and of itself. And I lived in a clean environment, and I did all the other supportive things. And it helped me so much where I could clear up a lot of the brain fog. But I reached a new level over the last 15 years, and I've spent, at this point, more than $1 million. You don't need to do that. I am a professional biohacker. I do this because the stuff that cost me $100,000, like $100,000? It's ridiculous. I'd rather fund a scholarship, and I'd rather spend $5 on the same thing, and it will get down to $5. Like, this is how innovation happens. Like, the very first cell phone was like the whole trunk of your car, and it cost $50,000, and it was like $20 a minute, and now you can buy a cell phone for $1. That's why I do what I do. In Headstrong, like, look, people who don't have Hashimoto's oftentimes have some thyroid dysfunction, or they have other mitochondrial dysfunction that's not from the thyroid. The thyroid is set right. The thermostat's set right. You put food and oxygen in the body, but for some reason, they lose electrons. They're supposed to go into firing neurons. Your head has the most mitochondria. Or into firing muscles, or pumping your heart, whatever. It doesn't work right. So the leaking electrons cause inflammation, which triggers autoimmunity, which can trigger Hashimoto's. But that lost energy is energy that you're not using to be yourself. It doesn't go to willpower. It doesn't go to any of these other things. It's just wasted. And you can recapture that energy. And what I've been able to do, I have more energy and more focus and just like more passion and more muscle and just more everything than I've ever had in my life at this age at 44 than I did at 24. And like, that's why I wrote Headstrong, because mitochondria they're ancient bacteria in your body, 10% of your body weight, but there's a quadrillion of them. They outnumber the bacteria in your gut by orders of magnitude. And they are ancient bacteria. They still act like ancient bacteria. And they don't listen to you. They listen to the world around you. So, like, the whole point of the book, and the point of a lot of Isabella's amazing book, too, is what in the world around you is making you weak? Like, let's get rid of the kryptonite, and then let's do the things that make you strong. And that's what's in Headstrong is that combination. It's not just for Hashis. It's for anyone who wants to perform better. I look at a lot of the research on neurodegeneration, where we started looking at mitochondria. I even looked at, like, what's going on in your eyes. Like, these glasses I'm wearing, not because I want to be like super fly.
Partially because you want to be super fly.
All right, and I did publish my first rap the other day. I have no rapping skills, by the way, but anyway.
I heard different.
It was a spoof rap, but I really did record a rap just to like put myself in an uncomfortable situation. But the glasses are an optical filter to lower the stress on the mitochondria in my eyes, because I want my brain to work well, because I'm going on stage in front of hundreds of people in a little while here in Denver. And just changing the light you're exposed to can change your blood sugar levels the next day, can change how much deep sleep you get tonight. And I use this ring. This is a biomonitoring ring. I don't know if I can get it off right now because it's kind of tight. But it has little sensors inside it that track my heart rate, my respiration, and my sleep cycles.
Is that the Oura ring?
This is the Oura
ring. Yeah, I got
ring.
one too.
Oh,
I love it.
They're pretty
I have it
cool.
in white.
Yeah, this is like, it's a little big for me, but whatever. I'm okay to wear it, even though it looks a little strange. So anyway, let's take some questions. I want you guys to know there's so much power of your biology that you have that's yours, and it's your birthright. It's always been there, and people who don't have Hashis and people who do have it, they're running at way less power than their cells can make, and when you make all that power, you feel it in your brain first because you have the most mitochondria in your brain. Like, it's really cool.
Jessica, hello Robin, hello Jody. There's a question here. So somebody wanted to know if I've had quite a few people say that they went into remission from Hashimoto's on the bulletproof diet.
And
somebody was asking about that. Is that what you used, or did you use autoimmune paleo to get into remission?
There was no such thing as autoimmune paleo when I started the bulletproof diet. So it was definitely the bulletproof diet. And it turns out when autoimmune paleo came on scene, I'm like, hey, these guys kind of get it. I'm in favor of that approach. What I found with the bulletproof diet, if you go to the bulletproof website, you can download for free the roadmap. And the roadmap has bulletproof foods that pretty much everyone can handle except eggs. They are in the bulletproof thing because they're so good for everyone who doesn't have autoimmunity. And then there's a bunch of what I would just call suspect foods. They may be innocent for you, they may be guilty, and those are most of the things AIP tells you to avoid. And then there's kryptonite foods. Like, seriously, just don't eat that crap, right? Mm-hmm. There's grains, margarine, MSG, tofu, tofurkey, gluten, field loaf.
I don't even know what that is. Let's see. Pamela, she says, my memory is terrible. I get so tired of being tired. What are some actions that people can take to have more energy, have a sharper brain, and improve mood? Like, what are some things people could do on their own? Because I feel like a lot of people are asking, they're overwhelmed, they're tired,
right,
and they don't know what to do. Like, what are some things that you could do to get started?
The number one thing that I am going to recommend is something that I make, and it's not because I want you to buy it, it's because I made it since I couldn't buy it, and I'm going to tell you about it. You don't have to buy it. I'll tell you lots of free things, but I'll tell you this is the most powerful one. It was also the first blog post I ever wrote back when I didn't think I was going to start Bulletproof as a company. I just wanted to share what made me well in case it would help 5 people. That was my whole motivation. A few more than 5.
How many people you've helped now? It's amazing.
It's hard to believe that I reach 10 million people a month now. Like I'm just like overwhelmed by that. And what it is it's the oil that's present in Bulletproof coffee. It's called brain octane oil. And in fact, I'm going to be pouring this on my meal tonight. This is a little travel bottle. Mm-hmm. And let's see. What brain octane does, it converts in the body into ketones. Ketones are these fat-burning molecules that your mitochondria love because they give you extra electrons and they turn down inflammation when they do that. You can fast for 4 days, and if you're already sick, you will feel like garbage if you try fasting, but your body will start to repair itself. What I found when I started doing things like fasting, which does help your body to regenerate, when I would use Bulletproof coffee with 0 sugar, 0 protein, all of those enzymes that are involved in protein digestion and the insulin stuff was unaffected. And so if you want to enter into ketosis quickly, a half hour after you have your Bulletproof coffee, you get the energy from ketones and your brain turns back on. That's why last year there were 48 million cups of Bulletproof coffee. And that's why if you order Brain Octane, it will not change my life, I promise you, but it will change yours. And I don't know how to put that any more strongly. But if you don't want to do that, you could try intermittent fasting, which sounds like, oh my God, I'm going to die. But like skip breakfast and have a late lunch. And if you do okay with it, a cup of black coffee in the morning can be helpful. And that's because caffeine increases ketosis as well. And your whole point is get yourself to the point where you will burn some fat for fuel. And the reason you do this is that the neurons in your brain, they will eat ketones even if there's sugar present. They love fat, and they never get this unless you have a regular fasting thing or you're in ketosis a lot because you eat like a very heavy-duty, like high-fat, low-carb diet. And a lot of people with thyroid dysfunction feel crappy when they go on low-carb diets for long periods of time. Like carbs can actually be beneficial. Not sugar, but carbs. And if you do this, you will feel different. It happens very, very predictably and very regularly. The other thing you can do, unless you're in very extreme adrenal fatigue, this might be too much for you. Mm-hmm. And this is in Headstrong, and this is free. You, at the end of your shower this morning, you can do what I did. By the way, water in Colorado is colder than water on Vancouver Island, I just have to say.
Really?
Yeah.
There's like a switch where you can make it warmer?
Yeah, that's the thing. You use the switch to make it colder. So you take a hot shower. At the end of the shower, turn the water, not gently, just all the way to cold, and let it hit you right here. Now, for the first day, for 10 seconds, you're going to feel like you're going to die. And this is actually your mitochondria, these ancient bacteria that are distributed throughout your body, telling you, stop it! We're going to die. You're not going to die from cold water. It's just uncomfortable. But they tell you, you need to get out of there. And it's okay to stop after 10 seconds. The next day, do it again. After 4 days of this, your mitochondria are like, I guess we weren't going to die. We'll chill now. Get it? Chill. And so what they do then is they start saying, I guess we should learn how to make more energy right now. And they upregulate their heat production, which teaches your body to be more resilient. And at home, I have the liquid nitrogen chilled air, 270 degrees below zero. We tossed Isabella in there when she came to visit, and she was like, she's so little. But what happens is you don't have to go to those extremes. You did make it through.
Barely.
Yeah, I think you were shivering a bit. Most people don't shiver from that. But the cold water sounds like death. It isn't death after 4 days. So you do that, and literally you get stronger every single day, and it's literally 30 seconds of cold water at the end of your shower. In fact, I look forward to it now. It doesn't hurt at all.
Michelle says, thank you so much. So she's getting the Headstrong book, and then she's buying it as gifts as well. Because this can help like everybody in the family.
I appreciate that. If you have older people in your family, oh my God, get them Headstrong. I did all this research on Alzheimer's, MS, and Parkinson's because those are the end stages of mitochondrial weakness. But get this, 48% of people under age 40 have early onset mitochondrial dysfunction, and everyone over age 40 has mitochondrial dysfunction called aging. I call it's all early onset in my book, because I don't think we have to be doing that. Theodora, no, you shouldn't stop drinking coffee.
Let's see. Hello, Timmy. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Let's see, what other questions do we have? Nootropic. Is DMAE a nootropic?
DMAE is marketed as a nootropic. It can have cognitive enhancing benefits, so it can give you massive headaches depending on your brain chemistry, so it's something you could try.
Shar said, my husband just ordered Dave's book, so he's reading it now, and he was just telling me about it
Cool.
in the morning.
Tell him I said thanks.
Aw, that's awesome. And so another question I had is, you actually have a 2-week program that can rebalance brain function. Can you tell me more about that?
Sure. So at the end of the book, like the book it's a solid read here, and thousands of hours went into it. What I did is I talk about the why and the how, and then all the references are at the end. And there's also a whole chapter on sort of the advanced stuff you could do. And if you're dealing with advanced Hashimoto's, that chapter is called Beyond the Limits. And I'm like, here's how to sleep deeper. Here's stem cells. I've had my stem cells injected. Like all sorts of cool stuff you can do like that. And
really innovative stuff that like nobody else is talking about.
Yeah, and those are things that I talk about on the Bulletproof Radio show, and like I Facebook Lived my stem cell procedure 3 days ago because I want people to know, yeah, right now that's $5,000. I'm working with people to bring it down to the point where it's $500, and you can get it done. And so what I do in this program, that is actually chapter 12, is I talk about things you can do one time that you're done with. So one of them is you change your lighting before you go to bed, and you swap out some bulbs in your house. If you have light bulbs that cause sugar cravings and weaken your mitochondria, and you have thyroid dysfunction, you are not going to recover the way you should. The mitochondria look at all light frequencies, and they change in response to it. And LED light bulbs, unless they're red, they jack you up. You need incandescent or halogen light bulbs. And so I tell you how to change which lights and what to do, how to set up your sleeping environment, because when you sleep well, these mitochondria talk to each other using photons, using light. So if you have even one LED in your bedroom, or if you have leaking light around your curtains, what happens is your mitochondria don't get to talk to each other, so they don't become stronger at night. They get disordered. They're like a bunch of single cells instead of a working unit. And given that this is 10% of your body weight, and given that their job is to keep you around as long as possible because they look at you as a petri dish, you might as well help them by letting them talk to each other at night. And I talk about how to make your technology work better for you. If you're sleeping with your cell phone turned on, you're cooking your mitochondria. EMFs are well documented to slow mitochondrial function. It's different than like cooking someone with a microwave, and the cell phone industry will tell you, oh, it's just about microwave heating damage. No, it's about damage to the semiconductor function of your mitochondria. So I tell you how to not get rid of Wi-Fi, but how to use it more smartly. And I talk about other things you can do with glasses that can make a huge difference. We talk about if you don't want to take a cold shower, another technique to get yourself some ice. There's even a meditation in here from one of 12 living grand masters of a Chinese energy medicine tradition, who's also a UCLA surgeon. And he actually wrote a special meditation that's in the book. You can also download the one to listen to for free. The whole point there is you do this, and your mitochondria, they're electromagnetically sensitive. So when you change your heartbeat, what happens is they pick up on the change in your magnetic field, and you can control whether they get stressed or calm by just changing your heartbeat. So meditation has an effect, a documented effect on mitochondrial function. And I talk about this research in the book. So if your mitochondria are slow, your energy is slow. If your thyroid is slow, your mitochondria are slow, and then your energy is slow. When your energy is slow, brain fog, fatigue, irritability, moodiness, forgetfulness, crankiness, hypoglycemianess, hangriness, all those sorts of things.
Clinical terms.
Yeah, totally. So this is well within your power.
So how can a book about mitochondria help people achieve their goals? Because I always go back to how is this going to change your life, right?
Yeah, people ask me to speak up, but I'm speaking pretty loudly, don't I?
You are.
Is it just Theodora?
Let's see. So there was a drug that people wanted to know that you mentioned, and it was actually a supplement.
It was DMAE, right?
No, so that was not what you were recommending. You were recommending, was it brain octane?
Oh, brain octane is an oil that is definitely not a drug.
So it's actually a food, right?
Yeah, it's a food. It's a flavorless oil that goes in your coffee, and where it comes from is that reflection is terrible. It's brain octane there. Where it comes from is we take coconut oil and we get rid of 95% of the weak parts of it and keep just the very strongest part. It is much stronger than MCT oil, which is another like a 50% extract of coconut oil. This is a 5% extract of coconut oil. One
more question from Laura. Instead of doing the cold shower, how about just putting some ice on the forehead?
Well, that actually works.
Does it?
So for people who don't want to do the full shower, it's nice to get it on your chest because there's some cold receptors there. What you do is you put the ice in a bowl, and then you, like a dippy bird, take a deep breath, stick your face in there. And facial ice baths are in the book, and for some people they're easier. And the first time you do it, you're like, oh my god, my head hurts. It's like a cold freeze from eating too much ice cream, except it goes away very quickly. And you're like, wow, I slept so much better. And that actually invokes something called the dive reflex, which is really cool.
Kind of wakes you up, right?
Absolutely. There's also things about natural sunlight. If you get natural sunlight in your eyes in the morning, go outside without contact lenses, without glasses on, and just get a little natural sunlight, it changes energy production in your eyes and in your brain. And it tells your body it's morning. So you can be more tied into your circadian rhythm, which can reduce autoimmunity, reduce Hashimoto's. Go ahead.
I think for sure circadian rhythm, like being out of balance with that, can contribute to the autoimmune epidemic. Anything about goals? Anything else? Because I started asking you about that, but then I never...
About goals? What were you asking about goals?
Yeah, how the book about mitochondria can help people achieve their goals.
Well, here's the thing. If you have autoimmune dysfunction, if you have thyroid problems, or if you're just obese like I was, you know that you're not running as well as you could. So you're like, all right, I'm going to force myself. I'm having brain fog. I'll bite my cheek. I'm just going to grit my teeth, and I'm just going to go. And what's happening is you've got the accelerator all the way to the floor, but you're going slower, not faster. And you can push harder, but it doesn't do anything, right? And I know that you guys know this because you follow Isabella's work. You have thyroid stuff. So this was my life. You end up using all of your willpower to do that. And willpower is finite. And willpower comes from electricity in the body, just like every other thought. And willpower and electricity are controlled by mitochondria. If you make your mitochondria make 20% more energy, you have more willpower. And since the brain uses the most power, if you have a brownout, what happens is just not quite enough energy. You feel it in the brain first. And your ability to regulate your emotions goes down. You yell at people you wish you hadn't yelled at. And your ability to maintain emotional stability goes down, and your willpower goes down. So you can get all of your stuff done. You can meet your goals if you have enough willpower, which means upregulate energy production in the body, and then you have more willpower, and you can use the willpower to stick to the program, or you can use the willpower to actually meditate, or to do some personal growth, or to get a promotion or a raise. And I hear these all the time from people who go on the bulletproof diet, or just people who fix their thyroid. I mean, Isabella, your work is really impactful. Like, if I'd had your book when I was 25, it would have saved me a lot of time. My God, all that time. So it's about getting your stuff back. Getting your thyroid fixed is one of the most important things you could do. In fact, you're mentioned in Headstrong. I'm like, if you need to know more about the thyroid stuff, just this is the go-to person.
Aw. Yeah, it's just, thank you so much. I really appreciate that coming from you, because I so respect your work, and I appreciate you being so innovative and putting this information out in the world that really nobody else is talking about. So you are the source. If people are looking to overcome, their issues with brain fog and feeling like they can't, somebody said, pedal to the floor but not going anywhere. Yeah. And I know you and I have both been there where we're like, okay, we want to do all these things in life, but we just can't, because all of these things are out of balance. And I love that you're helping people achieve that. So thank you so much for your work. And where can people get Headstrong?
Headstrong is available right now online. You can go to Amazon. I think we posted the link.
Yes. Okay. So it's in the description here, but if you're on your phone, you can just hop on over to Amazon and get that. You can also go anywhere books are sold. Barnes & Noble has it at the very front table nationwide on the Octagon table, which is kind of cool. And then it's at thousands of independent booksellers. So I would, I appreciate it if you buy the book or if you buy Isabella's book. And here's something to think about. This is a really cool Facebook Live, and we're spending about, half hour, 24 minutes of your time right now. It takes about 4 hours to read one of our books, maybe 5, depending on your reading speed. This is taking us, it's a lifetime of our knowledge, but we're communicating with you. But it didn't take us 2,000 hours to prep this, but I spent at least 2,000 hours writing this book, and you must have as well. Yeah, absolutely. It's like so much research and testing and guinea pigging. It's the most concentrated bit of knowledge you can possibly get is a book from an author who writes a real book versus hey, I recorded myself for 5 minutes and transcribed it and there's my book. This is just a good investment of time where you get the most boiled down knowledge that you can in the least amount of time. So that's why I'm grateful if you buy the book. And the other thing you can do if you like this kind of thing, go to Isabella's Amazon page and leave a review for her book and do the same thing for me. Reviews on Amazon are so incredibly powerful. So if you read the book and it changes something for you, just tell someone. And that's what actually motivates Isabella. I know because we're friends, and me too. It's you can change someone's entire life. I was doing one of the bulletproof talks, like the one I'm going to do in a few minutes here, and this was in San Francisco. And my friend Betsy, who's 70, walks up to me. I didn't recognize her. She lost 90 pounds in the last 2 years using bulletproof diet, using techniques in Headstrong. Life-changing. I totally didn't know who she was. And she's like, it's me. I'm like, oh my God. And she didn't look 70 anymore either, which was just remarkable. And this has happened at every one of these stops. And we're in city 6 of 7. Tomorrow is Austin. And it's like people who really they feel different. So it's cool. Well, it's just amazing because I think a lot of us think that we're destined to just grow old and then our brain is going to slow down and then we're just going to gain weight. But it doesn't have to be that way. No. We can actually take back our health. We could take charge. And, you and I are living proof, and this is our passion. We do this so we can help other people. How old are you going to live? At least 100. How about yourself? My goal is 180. 180. And I'm not trying to sound like a crazy person there, even though I might be wearing crazy person glasses. These are, by the way, called True Dark. The goal of 180 with existing technology today and supplements and taking care of yourself starting in your 40s, but starting in your 20s, 120 is in the bag with existing technology. You have to take care of yourself. A truck needs to not hit you, but we can do this. And I'm just assuming that over the next 140 years that we might see a smidgen of change in our medical technology. In fact, I'm forecasting over the next 10 years that we'll be able to add 30 years to your life just with projects that I know about that are already underway. Doesn't mean everyone will get access to this because it takes time for it to become democratized and become affordable. But this is happening just like artificial intelligence, just like many other things. You probably don't see it, and you probably don't see how close it is to coming. And the deal is you're not going to be old when you're old. You're going to still feel good. And that's why you guys should follow Dave's page, too. If you follow his Facebook page, he's always releasing the newest and most exciting stuff out there. So definitely make sure you guys follow his page. So it's Dave Asprey. And I think I'm not talking long enough. So excited to have you here, Dave. It's been such an honor and a pleasure to chat with you and have the opportunity to pick your brain a little bit here. If you guys go to facebook.com/bulletproofexecutive. I hope I got it right. Yep. It might be bulletproof exec. Uh-oh. So that doesn't work. It's bulletproof exec. Yeah, right? You don't look for yourself very often on Facebook, right? No. And so we also have the Facebook page linked here. And you guys should definitely follow Dave Asprey. He's doing amazing work in the world. Just groundbreaking, innovative. Such an honor to have you as a friend and to know you. Likewise, Isabella. And thank you for the work that you're doing in the world. You guys definitely head over to your bookstore or online and get yourself a copy of Headstrong. So this was great, and we will see you guys next time.